Okay, so RW is going to be making a new tmnt crossover, and at least with this one, it's going to be a bit different, which is a bit good. Now, over the past few months, there have been quite a few new tmnt crossovers, ranging from Power Rangers, to Sega Jimbo, to Street Fighters, to now the Stranger Things, which whether you like it or not, it's still happening, and I do think that's a good thing and bad thing for a variety of different reasons. And to say the very least, I would say that he has sort of lost the charm that made these crossovers so special and so great. But recently, RW has come out and going to be making a new crossover type event, and it's a little bit different compared to the crossovers that we'll be getting with the tmnt stuff. This one's going more in the old style of RW crossovers, but basically it'll just be one book from like each series, and that's pretty much it, except from like the RW title event and crossover covers, stuff like that. And that's pretty much where this whole crossover thing is going in for this event. Okay, so for the actual event itself, it's going to be called RW Endless Summer, and this event is going to be going into 4 different titles, and it's going to be one-shot stories, which is quite good, I would say. Now, for the actual stories themselves, it's going to be going into the tmnt 1987 comics for the tmnt Said Morning Adventure stuff, which I think is quite good. It's like, I'd definitely say that like with the story which we're going to be telling for this whole crossover thing, it really does work well for like the story they're telling, which is quite good. Now, the other books that will be going into this crossover thing will be the Saturday Morning Adventures Dungeons and Dragons comics. I didn't really know that they made those, so I guess that's good. We also have Sonic the Hedgehog in this one, which, yeah, I don't have too much to really say about that. We also got My Pony in this one as well, which, again, don't have too much to really say about it. It's there, it's happening, and yeah. Now, I've already mentioned that basically this crossover will also be getting some crossover covers, and it's quite good, I would say. Now, for the actual comic covers themselves, we've all got like cover A, B's and C's, and 110 variants, and other variants, stuff like that. Now, for the cover B's, this will be the connecting cover, which I must admit, they do look really good, all like connecting, stuff like that. Now, currently as the time of filming this, they've only released the tmnt crossover cover, the My Pony crossover cover, as well as the Sonic the Hedgehog crossover cover. They haven't released the Dungeons and Dragons one, so the connecting cover thing isn't properly connected just yet, but it's more or less nearly there already. And yeah, that's pretty much all it is for this whole crossover thing. Now, I must admit with this crossover, I do like how this one's not going to be a big grand spectacle like all the other ones, and it's going more on the old route of how RW used to do their crossovers with some of the other titles, and I must admit I do think that's quite good. I would definitely like to see in this Endless Summer crossover event type thing, to have like backup stories where we do get to see the characters interacting and like possibly crossing over with other characters. I do think that could be like a really great way to really have characters interact and stuff like that. That'd be like a really good way to do it. But if they don't, then I do still think that the way they're doing this crossover is still really good and really great. And with this crossover, I have already mentioned that basically RW has done these type of crossovers before, and they were really good and really great. Now, some other ones which we had got to see in the past was the RW 2021, which is basically the 20th anniversary for RW, and it's like either like 20 years in the future or 20 years in the past for like each like franchise. One of them was the Turtles one, which I must admit was really great because see the Turtles in the future, where Mikey was leading the team, they had mystical powers to fight Utroms in France, so you know, really interesting, really great. Shame I didn't really do too much with that like crossover stuff thing, but I do think that with the way that I was doing it with 20 years in the future and 20 years in the past for each of the franchises was a really unique way to go around all the stories, and yeah. Then another one we did have before that was Deviations, which is basically a what-if type scenario for all the stories. Now for the Turtles one, it was a really dark one, and going off the storyline of City Falls, where basically all the Turtles would like join up with Shredder. So Splinter, Old Hob, Slash went in to go and fight Shredder, and basically more than half of the characters died in that crossover, and it was really interesting. I can't really say too much about all the other deviations for all the other all the other franchises, because I know that like with all of them there was all like different like what if scenarios for their books, which I must admit was really great. And then one before that we had the X-Files ones, which Turtles was a part of it, but they didn't have their own book for it, which I must admit was interesting. But with the Turtles, I think believing being part of the RW universe ones, so I think they might build continuity and stuff like that, but I don't really know too much about that crossover, so that one happened, I want to say, so yeah. And then the one before that we had was Infestation, which I believe was a crossover thing. I know the Turtles had their own book for this, which was a 2-issue stuff, where basically the Turtles went down to the sewers to fight this big red monster thing. And yeah, I don't really know too much else about that crossover, but you know, like, this whole crossover thing with IW has been going on for quite a while, and I do like how they're bringing back this type of crossover type thing, where basically all the franchises get their own, like, issue to do with their stuff, and also, like, being under, like, same crossover type title and all that, which I must admit, it works really well for the crossover thing. I must admit, I do think that this one might work really well, just for being, like, this fun type adventure thing. You get to see, like, a few different stories or fun, like, adventure stuff for all different characters. And again, I would like to have like a little backup story in like all of them, just have like a little fun like story between all the characters. But if I don't, then I do think it's fine. But and I must admit, I do like how they're not using WW Turtles for this event. And I do think that overall with the event itself, it does sound okay. It's not like anything big, grand or spectacular, but it's just small scale stuff with like all the franchises doing their own thing, and then you know the connecting through the title with the crossover thing as well as the covers, and that's more or less it. So I do think that this is like the step in the right direction for crossovers in a way. I must admit, going forward, I'm really curious to see how IW is going to be doing more of these. I'm sort of wondering if maybe IW is going to be doing a lot more of these, maybe for other holidays. Maybe they could do Christmas one, you know, what other ones we could do, Easter maybe. You know, I feel so that like there's a lot of possibilities and potential here to do a lot more unique stories and stuff like that. We're also doing it as a crossover type thing, and we'll definitely like to see a lot more of these ones, as also these ones could be more unique and more special and just more in its own way, be like each of the franchises things and not trying to be something else. So I do see like there's a lot of potential here, and I must admit that going back to these crossovers is really great, and do hope I do go back to doing more of these. But yeah, let me know in the comment section below what you think about all this. Do you like this? Do you not? And will you be picking up any of the covers or the crossovers? And yeah, so that's gonna be it for today, guys. If you do something, please share, like, subscribe, and all that stuff. Goodbye, yo, bye.